Stamping Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me and I'll wait for my phone to catch up and make sure my volume is okay. A couple of minutes early this morning because I have just finished recording the videos for my current class, and I thought I might as well just plow on and keep crafting. So my hands are already quite mucky from stamping and gluing and getting those videos ready. So yeah, so we're ready to go. Hopefully ready to go. Okay, a couple of things that I wanted to show you before we get started today. These are my cards for my upcoming sentiment only or fun fold sentiment only class that I run every month. This is a 6x6 one sheet wonder that we're doing this time. So you'll get a full 6x6 sheet. What was a quarter sheet, but a 6x6 piece of this lovely flowery paper. And I'll give you the cutting instructions, and using that whole 6x6 sheet will make those 3 cute cards. So obviously I'll give you the frames and the pink and the ribbon and the bling and all those things. So yeah, it's just a really handy little 6x6 so that you get the 3 cards out of that. This one's a little note size card. Somebody pointed out that that's a bit smaller, so it's a little note card, but I do have note card size envelopes that I'll give you with that one. So that's my as I say, my fun fold or sentiment only class for December. Keep in mind you can join my VIP club and get 10% off my fun fold classes with the 6th class free, and that will actually the price of that VIP club will increase from the 1st of January. So if you'd like to pop in and get the 2022 price for that, please reach out and ask me the question. Exciting time coming now. Soon we have the new mini catalogue coming in, starting on the 4th of January, and the new celebration, or 5th of January, and the new celebration that goes from the 5th of January to the end of February. So celebration, lots of freebies. For every $90 you spend, you get to pick a freebie out of this little brochure. It's a great time to buy. And there is some wonderful, I can't show the inside of it yet, although if you've been watching recent videos, you've seen some of the bundles and stamp sets, etc. already. If you've bought from me in the last 12 months, you should get these catalogue and brochure automatically during December. If you haven't bought from me, or you haven't bought from me for a while, please contact me and I'll pop a copy of these in the post for you. Australian residents only. And if you haven't got a demonstrator already that's going to give you those, so please don't double up. I mean, it costs us money to send these things out. So if you've already got a demonstrator, chat to her or him about grabbing that catalogue. Okay, so let's get crafting. I'll pop those 2 things aside. Today, I'm going to hopefully hypnotize you with my subtle hints about some products that are coming up on sale from the 1st of December. So yes, I'm sort of getting to you subliminally and very subtly about using these products. The last chance sale that we have, which is the end of our Christmas catalogue, our December Christmas catalogue, is coming up. So the 1st of December the sale starts, and some of the products that I use all the time are coming up for really incredible sales. The designer series paper that we're using today, the Boughs of Holly, that's going to be 40% off from the 1st of December, and that brings it down to $12.60 Australian per pack. So that's amazing. So that's $21 down to $12.60. The glorious glitter paper that we're also going to use today, I'm going to use that gold. It's absolutely divine. That comes down to $10.50 a pack. So that goes from $17 to $10, or $17.50 down to $10.50. So yep, you can grab that from the 1st of December. And the Snowflake Vellum, specialty vellum, which I've used in a class and I've used multiple times on videos. We're going to use it again today. That comes also from $17.50 down to $10.50 per pack. So if you've got Christmas crafting to do, or you want to stock up for next year, you definitely should pop on the 1st of December and see what specials you can get. Sort of sadly, I'm going to use this as well today, the Merriest Frames and Hybrid Embossing Folder. We've had this one for a couple of years now, and it's going to finish also at the end of December. And you can get the whole bundle, the stamp set, the dies and the embossing folder. It's all come down to $50.60 for the whole lot. And that is 40% off on the stamp set and 60% off on the dies and embossing folder. So I think individually at the moment it would cost you probably close to $100, and together on the 1st of December you can get them for $50.60. So we're going to use that again today as well in my subtle way of getting you to buy stuff. Anyway, that's a joke. Well, it's not really, but anyway. So today we're going to be making a couple of photo cards, especially for Christmas. I'm going to make 2, and I've just got to show you these photos because, you know, it's my video and I can be proud mum if I want to. This one here, I'll bring it up close. That is my youngest, Sammy, and my middle, Ben, and my niece, my beautiful niece, Gracie. And that's a Christmas day, probably, 5 or 6 years ago. I think Sammy would probably be in his mid-teens, probably 15. Ben would have been 19 and Gracie would be 16. So there they are, having their picture taken on Christmas Day. And this one is the one we're going to use on our second frame. This one was the same pose taken, I think, year before last. So they were all in their 20s. They're all in their 20s. Well, Ben's late 20s. Sammy would be 20, 21, and Gracie would be 22. And so we managed to line them up for the same look. I actually told Sammy to make the same goofy face that he made in the first one because he's got a full beard. It's a bit hard to tell. So there you are. That's my proud mum moment. And they're the photos I'm going to use in our little frames today. So we'll start with this one. And as I say, this is also my not so subtle way of showcasing those wonderful products that are going to be on sale from the 1st of December. Okay, so a photo card is basically a card with a photo on the front. So all I've got starting here is with a I've lost the words. Tell me what colour this is, guys. Cherry cobbler card base. It's going to be a landscape card, so it's got the score at the top. I've got a panel of that glorious glitter paper. Look at that. I think anyone would love anything that glittered like that, like a diamond. Diamonds would be good if they glittered like that, but that's beautiful. So I've got that an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base. And because I don't like to waste things even when they're coming cheap, I've cut the frame for my photo already. And this is using the fitting florets frames, which I absolutely adore at the moment. Okay, I did in the original picture use the distressed, and I don't know if I've still got it, the distressed gold. I should still have it in place of the glitter. But then I realised that it wasn't actually coming on sale. So I thought, well, Julianne, you better feature things that are on sale. So I switched to this glitter, and it's just, you know, it's glorious, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to pop the glitter onto the card base, and because we're going to cover that frame, so you're not going to see that hole is there. Not that it matters too much. It'd be quite cute without it, wouldn't it? Actually, I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing that in there, and that like that. It wouldn't make much difference, would it? It'd be still quite pretty. But anyway, that's not what we're doing. Okay, so I've got my glitter frame on there. And then I've got a piece of the designer series paper. Wow, coincidentally, this one's also on special from the 1st of December. So we're going to use that one. And I'm going to pop it over, as much as it breaks my heart, I'm going to put it over the glitter so you just see a frame of the glitter around there. Now, attaching this to glitter, glue, it'll work eventually. It takes a little while to cure, but I'm just going to use double-sided tape because it'll stick immediately. So jump on and say hi as you're joining me. This isn't going to be a huge long video because I've already prepared all my bits. I did actually have a class. Did I say that already? I don't know. I've been making videos all morning, so I'm not quite sure what I've said and what I haven't said. Had a class yesterday. So I sort of was playing with the ideas of using photo frames and sort of had to pop these two designs together quite late after the class had finished. So hello to my ladies. If any of my ladies who came yesterday are here, pop and say hi. I think we all had a nice time. A little bit of illness in the ranks, so the numbers weren't quite as high as I'd anticipated, but the ladies that were fit, I think, had a nice time. Okay, so as I say, I'm using my double-sided tape and I'm just going to line that up with the edges so that you get a nice edge of that beautiful gold. That's lovely, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to bring in the frame that I created earlier in our photo. So the photo is actually bigger than the frame. You can see it sits quite snugly around the edge. So I'm going to actually first of all glue that frame onto that photo with my beautiful sons and my niece, or beautiful niece. They're all beautiful. Sammy's actually in New Zealand at the moment with his girlfriend, travelling around in a bright green combi van and sending me regular updates, which I'm very grateful for. I love seeing New Zealand. It's one of my favourite places, but I'm sort of happy that he's keeping me in the loop so I know he's safe in that mum sort of way. There we go. So that's them in their little frame there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this just smack bang in the middle of that little card there. So you can imagine probably sending something like this to a doting grandparent that lives far away, or you know, friends of the family who haven't seen them for a while, or something like that, as a bit of an update. Write one of those big long family update letters and pop it inside. Any ideas like that would work really, really well. Okay, so I'm trying to get that sort of central and sort of straight. Very blingy. Okay, so that's paper's on sale, the bling is on sale. So now I'm using the Merriest Moments stamp set and dies. Now my first thought was to use, because there's poinsettias on that paper, was to use the poinsettias out of the die, out of the stamp set. So I stamped, it's sort of a double part poinsettia, so I stamped that in cherry cobbler, die cut it out and popped the little yellow centre in there. And then when I popped it on there, I realised it's just a wee bit too big. I think it's a wee bit too big because it covers over the frame too much. And I didn't know where to put the sentiment. So as much as I love that, I might pop it on the inside instead. But what I did instead was, out of the stamp set as well, I just decided on some mistletoe, or no, holly berries and some holly leaves. So I've stamped those in Evening Evergreen. So the leaves are in Evening Evergreen, and the little berries are in cherry cobbler, of course. So I'm just going to pop those down the edge of the frame, and it's not going to cover over too much of the kids, but it's going to give that little off the side sort of Christmas extra, if that makes sense. It's just a little added interest. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? This is as far as the thought got. I'm going to add one leaf on the frame. So how's the best way? I think we'll stick to the double-sided tape for that, or snail. I've got some snail there, but I'll got the double-sided tape out. Just as I say, because I find glue a little bit hit and miss when you're attaching to glitter paper or that sort of thing. So I'm going to pop one leaf just there. And then the second one, I might pop the second one on some dimensionals just to give it a bit of height, or not. Hang on, might pop the berries on dimensionals, I think. Just like that. Yeah. Well, actually, that's because it's got the thickness. You see how thick that paper is? Well, you probably can't, but it's quite a thickness up from the base card. So I might actually use a dimensional on this, just so it doesn't sag. So let's pop that on there. Just a couple. And pop this one just off the edge. Yep, that's all right. I like that. And then we'll grab our little berry. And that's going to sit just there. So it's going to need a little bit of double-sided tape or something on the back as well. Just a wee bit. Okay. There we are. So it just gives our little card a little bit more Christmas spirit. And as a sentiment, I didn't think there was much really that needed to be said. So out of the merriest moments as well, I've popped that joy in some cherry cobbler, and I've actually cut around it so it doesn't. So it's like the minimum cardstock you can use. And I thought I would pop that. Where did I decide I was going to pop that? Just in the frame, sort of there, sort of area. Is that what I wanted? Maybe there. As I say, this sort of was a work in progress in my brain after I'd finished my class last night. So I want it somewhere near the berries. I don't want it too far out, and I don't want to cover the, yeah, I might pop it there. How does that look? Yeah, I think that's good. So I might pop it on some dimensionals. I've obviously haven't scrapbooked for a fair while because I printed these photos off last night and then had to cut them. And it's been a while since I cut photos, and it was like, oh, I'm not sure I quite like doing this. But I know that when I was scrapbooking a lot, it didn't worry me too much. I used to cut photos all the time. Somehow out of practice, and it sort of really freaked me out that I was cutting these photos. And of course, these days with printers and things, you can print them again a million times. It doesn't really matter. But I suppose from when I was young or younger, you know, photos were pretty precious. So you didn't tend to cut them too much. It had to be a very, very, very special occasion. But yeah, so I've cut those, and I thought, oh, I'm not quite comfortable doing this. I'm actually going to grab a piece of, oh, sorry guys, I've just lost my headset. I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. I'm back, and I'm going to pop that inside. I hadn't cut that yet. I might cut one for this card and one for the next one as well, for the 2020 version of these children. So I'm going to cut an internal piece. Just because I want to use those poinsettias, so I don't want to waste them, so I'm going to pop them inside. Okay, so that's our inside bit. Let's move the kids out of the way. That's turned out really well. I like that. I was not quite sure when I was cutting the pieces. There is our inside piece. And then we'll pop our poinsettia in there. There we are. Just so we don't waste it. Can't stand wasting good cardstock, so we'll pop that inside. And is there a sentiment that would be nice there? What about together is the merriest place to be? That's so cute because the kids are together, and they'll be together again this Christmas as well, which is nice. So we'll go with together is the merriest place to be. If I can get it, merriest place to be. So we'll use that one. Might give this one to Nana, I think, for Christmas. I might keep that. I think she'd like that. That was a few years ago now when we were all together. Even the up-to-dated one was just before my dad got sick. So there's lots of good memories here. There we are. So together is the merriest place to be. And as I say, you could add like your big family letter and pop it in there. And that's really nice. I love that. That's come out really well. Very happy with that one. So as I say, the paper is coming on special. The glitter paper or glimmer paper is coming on special. And this beautiful, beautiful stamp set and dies are coming on sale as well. So that's all potentially quite a good value card. Okay, the second one is a little bit more sophisticated. You know, the kids grow up. They don't like, you know, they're sophisticated adults of the world now. So this one is a little bit more in line with that. Well, I think so anyway. So there they are again in the same pose, Sammy and Ben and Gracie. So this one's going to be all rectangles. So I've got a basic grey card base. So it's a little bit more, you know, in keeping. And I'm using the Snowflake Vellum. So there we are. So this is the one that has the sort of the foil accents on it. So with the vellum, as I say, this one is also coming on special on sale for $10. So you have two sheets of 3 patterns, and each pattern you have a foil version and a plush version. So there's a plush version of the dots and a foil version of the dots. And then there's a plush version of this snowflakey one, and then, or there's 2 snowflakey ones. So, and they both have plush versions and foil versions. So there's 6 sheets all up, and that one is coming down to $10.60 from the 1st of December. Okay, so with my vellum, I tend to like to attach it without glue because glue tends to show through. There is a way of doing it with glue, but I don't need, which involves lots of glue and a sponge. But when I say lots of glue, I mean lots of glue. And I don't have lots of glue at the moment until my next order comes. So what I'm going to do is pop some glue dots in behind the pattern of the vellum. So the pattern of the vellum will hide, and thankfully they are little dots. So they'll hide the glue dots behind the dots. So it works well with this paper. So I'm just picking a nice sized dot that's close to the edge, and I'm going to pop a glue dot behind it. And that should keep it suitably attached. One decided to stick to my finger rather than me, so he's missed his chance. Oh. Okay, so that's probably enough of that. This is the center of this vellum is going to be covered with the photo and the frame. So what I'm going to do is just in that centre bit where it's not going to matter too much, I'm just going to add some glue just to give it a bit of reinforcing, but it won't matter that you can see through because it'll be covered. So I'm just adding that to the grey, and now the grey sort of softens the grey comes through obviously because you can see it, but you can still see those beautiful shimmery silver accents as well, so that's nice. As you can see, the glue will dry, but you still do see it through, so that's okay. As I say, that'll be covered. Okay, so the kids, here's the kids again, and this time I've got a basic grey frame that I've cut by lining up 2 of the stitched rectangles. So they're fairly much a staple as far as the catalogue is concerned. They're the sort of the standard, they're always there, the rectangles. Touch wood that they don't take them out. I'll usually say that and then they'll remove them next catalogue and I'll be stumped. But anyway, so they're there at the moment. So I've just got a smaller size one and then another one that's about 2 sizes up, and that's made that cute little frame there. And that's just going to sit in the middle of that vellum. So I might add the kids first. I'm going to pop some, I might do double-sided tape on the edge of that. The edge of that. So I'll put double-sided tape on the frame. Now I'm still tossing up whether this will go on dimensionals or straight. Let's see. I'll gauge it when I've got it in place as to whether it needs some dimension or not. I'm going to pop the kids in there. I know they fit pretty well because I cut them that way. So there they are in their frame. Bring in our backing. So you don't see a lot of the vellum. I suppose it might be better if I had a smaller photo and then I could have cut a smaller frame, but obviously I didn't want to cut the kids in half, so I've left it quite large. I think we'll dimension that. Might grab some big dimensionals. I've got some handy. Still in the class pack. I have a little caddy that I bring out courtesy of Jan Casey when I do classes, and everything was in that. Jan's caddies are awesome well, I find them awesome for classes because I just put in what I know people are going to need and leave the rest of my stuff in my craft room. And it rotates as well so that people can grab what they want without moving around the table. So they are a wonderful thing to have, and they're just great sitting in the craft room as well. So if you'd like to know a bit about that, please reach out as well. Okay, so I'm popping that all on dimensionals there. Sometimes it looks like it's snowing in the craft room with all these little dimension backings as well. Okay, there we are. So pop that in there. It's not straight, not straight, not straight. Might be too late. Oh. Yeah, it's coming. I knew I'd do that. Like, dimensionals are like probably the least forgiving adhesive there is, and I knew I'd make it not straight. I'm going to bring it closer to myself so I can see what's actually straight and what's not, so just bear with me for a minute. It's a bit hard when you're watching things from an angle to see what's actually straight and not. That's better. Sort of. That'll do. There we are. So there they are in their little frame, in their glimmer. Okay, so as far as sentiment goes with this one. I don't think it's a flowery one, possibly a snowflake or something. I know the wonderful snowflakes are also coming on sale, but they're far too big for this. They'd cover over the whole picture. So what I thought I might do is I'll just grab the scrap of basic grey here. I'm going to grab my sentiment, which I thought I would just use Season's Greetings. Nice sort of similar, just simple words there. And I'm going to heat emboss them with silver, in silver. That's what I thought I'd do, just to keep the silver theme going. So Season's Greetings. Didn't want to waste this rectangle of cardstock. I've got my little wonder tray here. No, that's gold. I don't want gold. I want silver. Forgive me for a second, guys, while I find my silver. Where are you? Gold, gold, gold everywhere. Where's my silver? Copper, black, egg. Where's my silver? There. Phew. Thought I'd lost it somewhere far, far away. Okay, so I'm going to grab our Season's Greetings. I'm going to grab my first mark ink. And wherever my buddy is, my embossing buddy. So the embossing buddy, if you haven't seen it before, will take all the ink, all the oil from your skin off and any moisture off the cardstock. So the embossing powder will just stick to the Versamark ink and not anywhere else. There. Okay, just going to, I don't know how the silver on the grey will go, but we'll see. As I say, work in progress last night after my class, so it felt like a good idea at the time, so we'll just move that away. Grab my heat gun. Cord is all what's the word, twisted, so bear with me. I'll untwist that so it'll reach. That's better. Forgive the noise. I'll just heat emboss this and then we'll see how the silver looks against the grey. It should be nice, I think. Here we go, we're turning now. Yeah, I like that. It's burning my fingers. There we are. Okay, obviously I'm not going to use that whole sentiment, that whole rectangle. That would just be silliness. I'm just going to cut that down like I did with the joy. Just going to cut it down to size, hopefully not muck it up. Just following the lines or the general outline of the lettering. It's a bit of a practiced art, this method, and I sometimes get it terribly wrong, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to take that excess off. And around the bottom. And there's a little bit of a dip with that G. Oh. Here we are. And there's another dip for that G along there. There. That's not too bad. Quite happy with that. Didn't work out too bad. There we go. So I'm going to pop that just along the bottom of the, oh, maybe there, about at the center of the frame or off to the side. I tend to be an off to the side girl. It tends to be where I go, but the center would be nice as well, just as a real frame. What do we think? You want to pop on and tell me? Center or right hand side? That one or that way? And I'm going to grab some bling as well. I think this one needs a wee bit of bling. Now tell me what you think. I'll wait a couple of seconds. I'm just going to pop it there while I go and find my iridescent gems, which I think would be perfect here. So center or right? Center, center, side, center, center. We're fair few for the center, so we might go the center. Center. Cool. All right. I will stand as center. As I say, I tend to go over to the side, but I tend to get a bit boring like that, don't I? Okay, so we'll go in the center. There we go. That's so good. The kids just look so good in that. Oh, to be young and, I was going to say firm. Oh, to be young and not wrinkly again. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Okay, so we're going to use some iridescent gems because they just will fit in so nicely with our vellum. And then a matter of where to put them. I might add them around the edge. I don't want to, for some reason I don't want to put them on the photo. Isn't that weird? But I'll pop them. There. Okay. That's the second one. I'll pop this little central panel in as well. And that's our second photo card. What are we calling it? Christmas photo card. But obviously you could do it any time of year if you wanted to. There we are. Okay, so there's the second one, the sort of more sophisticated one, I'm calling it. And there is our original, those three troublemakers in all their glory. Okay, so as I said, my non-subtle way of showing you some of the products that are coming on sale from the 1st of December. The paper, the Boughs of Holly paper, the Glimmer paper, the beautiful gold, comes in a sort of a vanilla and a garden evening evergreen as well in the Glimmer. The wonderful vellum is also coming on sale, and that Merriest Moments stamp set and the dies are also going to be on sale. Quite huge sale. So everything that I'm showing you there is either 40 to 60% off. Well, the things I've pointed out that are on sale are 40 to 60% off from the 1st of December because, as I say, they are part of the retiring mini catalogue that we are saying goodbye to for the Christmas period. But anyway, thanks for watching me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Turned out a little bit longer than I thought, I suppose, because I needed to emboss that that sentiment as well. But hopefully you enjoy those. Give those a bit of a go. Pop your loved ones in in some cards there and send them off to loved ones far and near and far. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend, and I will catch you all next